Yesterday Bitcoin came all the way to this huge support area on the daily time frame. We can see a very beautiful bounce from this level, and I'm going to tell you what is going to be next for Bitcoin in this video. There are a lot of interesting formations to look at for Bitcoin, and I will discuss them all with you. I will also have a look at the two altcoins Vechain and Chainlink, but about that later in the video. There's a lot of interesting data coming into the market, and there's also a lot of interesting news happening for Bitcoin and crypto in general. So watch this video all the way to the end, like the video, and let's dive right into the charts. Let's start with Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. We can see Bitcoin is in this huge falling channel formation. We can see multiple touch points on the top side as resistance and multiple touch points on the downside as support. And every time we touch this support on the lower side, we saw a nice bounce, and that's what we saw yesterday as well. So yesterday we saw a bit of a pump again to the top side resistance, but we didn't actually reach all the way to this top side resistance. And now we're seeing a decline again. So let's see if we're going to see a break of this huge downtrend for Bitcoin in the coming hours. And this huge falling channel formation is a typical bullish bias pattern because we're seeing a downtrend, but eventually this pattern is going to break to the top side more often, and we want to see a break of the top side, a retest of the previous resistance to turn it into support, and from here you could potentially enter the market in a long and then aim for higher targets. And then we can aim for higher targets, and then the breakout target will be the top side of this formation, and that will be confluent with the $61,000. So this could happen for Bitcoin in the coming hours. So let's see if we can break to the top side and eventually come back to this huge resistance on the $61,000. And if we then zoom out to the daily time frame, we can see that Bitcoin once again was at this huge critical support, and yesterday we bounced from this support after we went all the way to this support. So this was looking very bearish, but at this support it was a very interesting place to accumulate more BTC, and that is exactly what I did, and I warned you about it in my previous video. And if we're going lower, then I was buying more at these stages. And at this green box of accumulation, you could have bought more BTC for the long term, because I think this will be a very strong support for Bitcoin. Just as we can see, we saw a beautiful bounce to the top side, and let's see if we can see a separation of this level for Bitcoin. But for now, we are also in this downtrend on the daily time frame. So let's see if Bitcoin can break this previous high, create a new higher high, a new higher low, and from there we want to see the trend reversal happening for Bitcoin on the daily time frame, and that would indicate new strong bullish momentum. And yesterday the Bitcoin ETFs had a bit of a bearish day. It had a total outflow of $37 million, so that was a little bit of a neutral day actually. Grayscale was of course selling that portion, but BlackRock didn't buy any, and the other Bitcoin ETFs had a bit of a mixed day. So it was not a very negative day, but also not a positive day, of course. And we're now seeing a little bit of a decline from this huge all-time high of this total cumulative inflow. And if we then have a look at the Ethereum ETFs, we can see another very negative day for the Ethereum ETFs again. Grayscale is selling like crazy, and all the other Ethereum ETFs are not buying any. So this is a little bit bearish to see. And yeah, we're still waiting for a lot of buying pressure coming into the market for the Ethereum ETFs. And I was expecting a little bit more of BlackRock, but BlackRock also didn't buy anything yesterday. But yeah, they now bought for $1 billion, but I expected a little bit more. So when Grayscale is done selling their Ethereum, we could potentially see a little bit more of bullish days for Ethereum. And a couple of days ago, I was warning you about this huge daily formation. We can see this symmetrical triangles breaking down to the downside. We see this huge formation unfolding. We broke to the downside, we broke the support, we retested this support as resistance, and then we came further back down. So this could be a very interesting place to short the market, as I warned you in my previous videos. And now we are seeing a little bit of a decline, and this lower side region of this formation will be the breakdown target, and that will be around the $53,000. So this is the bearish scenario, of course, for Bitcoin. But let's see if Bitcoin can invalidate this formation and come back inside this formation. Eventually, we want to see a break of this downward sloping resistance line, a break to the top side, and then a continuation of the bullish price action. But for now, after the bearish retest, we have to aim for lower targets. And yesterday we saw some interesting news coming in that Morgan Stanley reports holding 2.1% of its Counterpoint Global Fund Bitcoin through the BlackRock ETF. So they're holding a lot of Bitcoin, and that is exactly what we want to see. So let's see if in the coming months they will increase their holdings for Bitcoin. And these kind of news reports are coming into the market is very bullish for Bitcoin, and because a lot of people are going to have more trust in Bitcoin, and a lot of other companies are going to maybe put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And of course that will increase the buying pressure for Bitcoin and also pump up the price. And also on the daily time frame, we can see this huge broadening wedge formation is still intact for Bitcoin. We can see a lot of touch points on the top side as resistance and also a lot of touch points on the downside as support. And Bitcoin has been in this formation since the beginning of March after the huge bump from the bear market lows. And now we're at the middle stages of this broadening wedge. So let's see what side Bitcoin is going to pick. If we are going to see a huge rise to the top side again and come back to this level, and that would be around the $67,000. But we could also see a bearish scenario, and that means that we're going to see the lows of this broadening wedge formation, and that will be around the $50,500. So as I was saying, we're now trading inside of the middle stage of this formation, and we first need to break this huge previous high, and then we have to aim for higher highs. But if we're going to come to this top side resistance and break it to the top side, retest the resistance as support and then come further back up, we can aim for this huge horizontal resistance around the $71,000. But that's of course a little bit of far play for now. But if we break that level, then we can aim for new all-time highs. And another very interesting other news article coming in about the Switzerland fourth largest bank, Zurich Cantonal Bank, and they are launching a Bitcoin and Ethereum trading platform. So that is interesting to see. And this will bring a lot more people to Bitcoin and Ethereum. And of course, all the people could potentially trade Bitcoin and Ethereum. So a lot of more banks are coming into the market every day. And this, of course, will have a lot of buying pressure to the market. And it could potentially pump up the price for Bitcoin and, of course, also Ethereum. And on the daily time frame, we can see this huge resistance and support level chart. I have to paint this last big support chart as a resistance now, and we have to paint it red because we fell below the support, and now we can potentially aim for lower targets. And the next big support for Bitcoin will be around this level, and that will be around the $52,000, just like we saw here earlier in the past. A lot of touch points here, but this could also be a very interesting place to buy more Bitcoin for the long term. But of course, we want to see a regain of this previous resistance area now and then turn it back into support again, and then we have to find a way to the top side again. So Bitcoin is in this huge downtrend for now. So let's see if Bitcoin can potentially turn things around, and we want to see a trend reversal on the daily time frame. The first altcoin I want to have a look at is Vechain. We can see Vechain is currently back at this huge critical support level, and this horizontal level needs to hold once again. And every time we touch this certain area, we saw a nice spike to the top side. So let's see if we can see another bounce from this level. And the apex is coming closer and closer, and we can also see this downward sloping resistance line is coming down, and this huge horizontal level is coming into play. So eventually this price is getting squeezed into this apex. So if we're going to see a huge move to the top side, I expect we're going to see a break of this level, a retest of the resistance to turn it into support, and from there we can aim for high targets. And then the first big resistance will be around this level, and it will be around the 3.3 cents. And this is a very interesting level to look at for Vechain. But if we're breaking that level, the breakout target of this formation will be the top side of the formation, and that will be around the 5 cents. So buying at these lows is not a very bad thing to do for the long term, because I think that Vechain will be trading around the 50 cents in the coming bull run. So of course this is not financial advice, but I'm buying at these stages. So at this green box of accumulation, I've been buying like crazy, and I've been accumulating more Vechain. The next interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Chainlink. Chainlink fell below this huge horizontal level, and this horizontal level was coming into play. We can see a lot of touch points here in the past as support, and every time we touched this support we saw a bounce to the top side. But last week we fell below this level and we broke down, and now we are retesting this level as resistance again. So this was a bearish move for Chainlink, and of course we are also seeing this huge falling wedge formation. So let's see if this pattern can break to the top side, and eventually we want to see a break of this huge downward sloping resistance line, but also of this huge horizontal resistance line. And if we're going to break that to the top side, then we can see some exponential moves, because I think these are the two big support resistance areas now for Chainlink. And if we're going to break these, then we can see some bullish continuation for the price of Chainlink. But for now, we are in this downtrend. So let's see if Chainlink can break to the top side, and eventually we also want this break this huge horizontal level. And this huge horizontal level is the biggest resistance for Chainlink now. And if we're going to break to the top side of this huge falling channel, then this formation will have a breakout target that is confluent with the top side of the formation, and that will be around the $19 approximately. Currently we are trading around the $10, but I think that Chainlink will be having a price target of around the $100 in the coming bull run. So that will be a 10x from here. Please give a like if you find the video useful. Follow me on my socials and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.